Well, greetings, Series 7 test takers. This is the Series 7 guru coming in from my studio in fabulous Las Vegas, working my way through some Friday night explication requests. Here's our final one. I'll be caught up after this. A customer sells two July 20 calls for 5 and sells two July 20 puts for 10. You should definitely be able to identify that as a straddle. There are 4 test questions about straddles. Can you identify them? Can you calculate the break-evens? Here, it's going to be strike price plus total premium, 35. Strike price minus total premium, 5. It's the only strategy in which we have 2 break-evens. Where is it profitable? That's our third test question. Silo, short inside, long outside. And then when we do use it, here we expect this trading range. So as long as the stock is between 35 and 5, I am a winner. A good way to remember that is silo, short inside, long outside. Okay, so let's get started and see what this question wants. We always want to fire up the T, and I believe in doing things on a per share basis. You can do it any way you want. It's a buffet. Take what you like, leave what you don't. But it says an investor sold 2 July 20 puts for 10. So there's my puts. We'll put that in green for money in. Some people like to use plus signs. I like to use dollars in. Some people like to use a credit, whatever floats your boat. I like to put my put contract on bottom. And then it says I sold 2 July 20 calls for 5. So there we go. Boom. I'll just stick with my labeling here. So I like to use dollars in. Some people like to use a credit. Some people like to use a plus sign, whatever floats your boat. Okay, so then it says, what's the result of the puts are exercised? So you should know that if I'm short a put, I have an obligation to buy the stock at 20. And they just tell me in the question that I bought the stock at 20. So I'm going to put that over there, right? Because that's what it means to say that I got exercised on the put. It says, what's the result of the puts are exercised and assigned to the investor? That means I bought the stock at 20. The calls expire. So let's put that in there. So calls expire. And again, I'm just tracking the question through my T, which is what I'm recommending to you. So an investor sold 2 July 20 puts at 10 and simultaneously sold 2 July 20 calls at 5. You should know this is a short straddle. I do things on a per share basis. Then when I'm all done, I multiply. So I think it's a mess to have 1,000 or 2,000 or 4,000. I just think it's easier to do a per share. So the puts were exercised. That means I bought the stock at 20. That's where we're at in the question. Assigned to the investor, calls expire. Then it said I sold the stock. And again, what you want to practice is your ability to know what the offset is. What I mean by that is the offset here is they're now telling me that the stock that I just got stuck, somebody stuck the stock to me, I'm the put E. And then they said I sold that stock for 8. All right, so let's see here. Let's put that there. And I think I'm going to be a winner because remember our break evens were 35 and 5 and 8 is between that. But let's just see. Boom, boom, boom. 8. And that's the offset. We'll put that in green. And so it looks like now I got to be careful here. The reason I got to be careful is because remember I have 2 contracts. So I got to remind myself when I'm all done that I just don't jump on and answer this per share. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtotal this. So let's get our T again, and we're just going to subtotal our T. Now be careful when you're introducing numbers. When I'm doing that subtotal, that's not coming from the question. That's me just, netting this out to see what this looks like. And so it looks like I am out 20. And let's put that in red. And I brought in a total of 1823. Is that right? By the way, that kind of already aesthetically kind of pleases me because 23, remember, 8 was 3 points on that break even, right? In the right direction. So aesthetically, that's kind of speaking to me. And so it looks like we've made $300 here, right? When it's all said and done, we made 3 points. And remember, we made this on 2 contracts. that governs 100 shares. That's called the multiplier. And so it looks like we have a gain of $600. All right, so then we would shop our answer set and see if that's available to us. At some point, you would want to be able to do it without, shopping the answers set. We could do that. PS over here, this would be, again, the dollars out. And again, you could use debit if you'd like, whatever floats your boat. You could use minus, boom. Okay, so let's just review. This is I should have been able to recognize this as a straddle. We said there's 4 questions about straddles. Can you identify them? Can you calculate the break evens? Can you determine where it's profitable? When do you use it? A straddle is long 2 different type of contracts or short 2 different type of contracts. This is a short straddle. A straddle with different strike prices is called a combination. So then I have to calculate break evens, strike price plus total premiums. 35 is my upside break even. Strike price minus total premiums, my downside break even. 5 is my downside. 35 is my upside. Where is it profitable? Silo, short inside, long outside. If it's short, I want the market price to be somewhere between 5 and 35. That's what that means, silo. And then when do I use it? I expect a trading range. This is a huge trading range, by the way. So this one looks pretty juicy. I mean, 35. Do you think the stock's going to stay between 5 and 35? I sometimes think that questions are reflective of somebody who hasn't traded any options. I would sell this straddle in a heartbeat. Now, I should recognize it has unlimited risk if I do that. But all right, so then I get my T fired up. Always fire up the T. There's my 10 points for the put. There's my 5 points for the call. I do it on per share basis. That's my 35 and 5, right? That's my total premiums. And I like to use dollars in. And then the question, remember, says the puts are exercised. So that's an obligation to buy the stock at 20. So that's what it means to say, if you're short a put and I'm your broker and call you and say you got exercised, it means you had to buy the stock at 20. You go, oh my God, Dean, I got to buy the stock at 20 and it's an 8. I go, yeah, but that still works out. The calls expire. You keep that money. We sell the stock at 8. So you lost 12 points there, but that's not a problem because you brought in 15 originally, right? So when it's all said and done, you're a winner. You made 3 points on 2 contracts, each contract governing 100 shares. So you made $600. I hope that was helpful. Remember, inch by inch, Series 7 is a cinch, yard by yard. Series 7 is hard, and I will see you for the next explication.